thank you for answering the call that is maybe calling all of us right now to wake up. I hear that call myself in the voice of Mother Earth. She has become my great source of refuge. I've started out in the Buddhist tradition many, many years, and over all of those years, the teacher, the Buddha, the teachings, the dharma, and the community, the sangha, have most beautifully expressed themselves in the body, the teachings, the interconnected web of life that is present with us in this embodied experience living on the earth. And she is just the best teacher there is, right? Yeah, so she's really talking loudly now to all of us. And she's asking us to wake up. When Adyashanti was talking, I was thinking about the Buddha, who I like to imagine actually as a woman, just for this fun of it. When the Buddha was in that enlightenment experience, what she did at that moment of awakening was to actually touch the earth, summon the earth to witness that experience. And so just take a moment to reflect on what that might have been like, and what greater witness is there than the earth, this great intelligence, this great source of love. Talking about redemptive love, the love of wholeness that we feel when we find our true nature in the embrace of the world around us. And so what do we love the most, in our lives? That's whatever it is that we love so much, that's our gift, that's our offering to restore the web of life in these times. We're alive in a really profound time of opportunity. Feels scary sometimes with everything that's coming apart at the seams. But this amazing moment that we're in to listen to something so much larger than ourselves and to respond to that with every fiber of our being. And wake up together. My great teacher, Thich Nhat Hanh, talked about a long time ago, he said the next Buddha will be a sangha, a community. And at the time he said that, it felt so prophetic, like, whoa, what is he saying? No, we'd never heard such an idea before. And over the years, of course, it has seemed like more and more, this is what's happening. We are together involved in this collective awakening. We've got to do it together. We can't do it by ourselves anymore. It's a new time. There's not just a Buddha sitting there under some tree somewhere, We're all finding our way, and we need each other to wake up together. Are you with me? Good. So my own path has been to carry out this practice with these little clay pots called Earth Treasure Vases. That what happened was I found myself, this was 30 years ago, I had the opportunity to go and meet the proverbial old wise man in the cave. And he was a lama by the name of Kushuk Mangdun, Charak Rinpoche. He was 106 years old. He lived in a cave in a really remote corner of Nepal, and I had the chance to go meet him. And I was literally walking up the path of the highest mountains in the world going, oh, Cynthia, you have the chance to ask a question of the old wise man in the cave. What are you going to ask him? And I really pondered that as I was walking, and what came to me finally was to ask him something that was not just for myself, but for all of us. And the question that came to me was, what can we do to bring healing and protection to the earth? And that was 30 years ago, and it's still a pretty good question. So he said to me, even just one person practicing deeply will bring benefit to the whole area around where they live. Then he turned to me and he goes, you, and he was kind of like almost blind, and he pointed at me and he said, you need to get these Earth Treasure Vases, and you need to put them in the ground, and they'll do that work. And my rational mind kind of said, how's a little clay pot filled with prayers and symbolic offerings going to bring healing and protection to the earth and relieve the suffering that is going on in every direction? But the other part of me thought, well, okay, this is what's coming to me, and we have to try everything, and I have great respect for this tradition, so where can I get some? And so, long story short, I received 30 of these original treasure vases, and later I received another 40 of the smaller ones, all of which were made at the same time by the lamas in Nepal. The clay was mixed with sacred substances and consecrated for us. This is a dharma practice from the Tibetan tradition. So it's a practice that has been originated a long, long time ago, 8th century, but then came forward in time, was hidden, and it came forward in time and came out of hiding, so to speak, at this time. And normally the lamas who carry out these kind of practices do them behind the closed doors of the monasteries, and they do them in all their particular ways, and we might or might not have a chance to actually work with a practice like this. But they gave them to us empty. They were already consecrated. They had many sacred substances mixed into them, but they gave them to us to fill with all of our own prayers and offerings, and then to seal, and then actually take and bury in the earth, like plant like a seed. And this has brought this practice alive in a way that I don't think it would ever have come alive if they had done it for us in the traditional way. And so I have spent the last 30 years taking these little holy vessels all around the planet, making relations with elders and indigenous First Nations people all over the world, inviting their blessing, inviting their participation, making relations with activists who are carrying out the work that we're praying about, and just regular folks like all of us. And it's amazing what happens when we start to fill one of these little holy vessels with all of what we love and care about most. It's like they become a living being. And even the most cynical, rational-minded people kind of go, oh, that's interesting. They feel it. And then they get planted in the earth, and it's amazing the kinds of things that have happened as a result of this. You can't predict it. You know, it's a wonderful practice because you have to get yourself out of the way and allow something so much larger to guide the process. The suffering of the world is completely overwhelming. How do we ever know? How do we choose where to go? You know, to take one of these little pots, for example. But they seem to they seem to know where they want to go. This one's going to Antarctica, and this one's going to Greece. This one is, I call it the mama vessel. All of the 30 of her compadres have already been buried. And she's holding space for the little ones to go out. And they're in process now. So we'll do a ceremony tomorrow at 4, if anyone's interested in actually forming a relationship to these little friends and making offerings. And this whole practice, is a way for us to engage with what we love and care about most, and to participate with Gaia. It's like we are part of the web of life, each and every one of us. We're not separate from all that is around us. The trees, the rivers, the mountains, the oceans, the animals, the rocks, and each other. And so this is a practice that can bring us into that connection, and to remind us that we too are holy vessels, filled with offerings for our world and for each other, for our communities, for our loved ones. So what else is there? In these times, that to me is the call. That to me is the opportunity to wake up to that, to this incredible life. And even if we don't know how it's going to turn around, we make our offering anyway. And then in that way, we realize that there's actually no separation between the offering that I'm making and myself as the one who is offering it. And the earth loves our offerings. She's very, very responsive. So I encourage you to find your own way to form that relationship with Gaia, with Mother Earth, with Lover Earth, as Charles Eisenstein says. I like that. So anyway, that's my dharma practice and my calling, and it's wonderful to be able to share this with you and invite you into this practice now. So let's take a breath. And another. It's a lot of words floating around here. Come into our seat, the seat of potentially our awakening. This is the moment, the only moment, right? As Thich Nhat Hanh says. It's, here we are. This is it. So another breath. The breath connects the body and the mind, bringing us into the present moment, and just feeling our bodies relax, let go, all of those ideas, just letting ourselves drop in to our own heart, as Adyashanti pointed to, that place of love that is always with us, and feel our stability in our seat, the ground beneath us, and maybe the roots, our own roots reaching down deep into the earth. Just taking a moment to feel that, maybe another breath to just let our awareness drop down and make that connection to the earth, our home, our only home, this beautiful planet. And then feeling that sense of rootedness opening to the light from above, the stars, the sun, the moon, and connecting with the vast energies of the cosmos. And bringing our full awareness now into the present moment. I'm going to share a little opening verse inspired by the Buddhist tradition, but in my own way. Perfection of wisdom, mother of Buddhas, bodhisattvas, and all beings, nourishing, holding, and healing all. Great Mother Earth, precious jewel of the cosmos, to you we bow in gratitude. We take refuge in the earth as our teacher, the one who shows us the way in this life. We take refuge in the earth as an expression of the dharma, the teachings of interbeing, understanding, and love. We take refuge in the earth as an embodiment of the Sangha, the vast interdependent community of life in balance and harmony. Living within the web of life on earth, we dedicate ourselves to embodying awakened awareness on the path of healing in service to all beings. We dedicate our lives to realizing our oneness with Gaia. And the bell is bringing us back to our true self. Okay, so I invite you now to form the intention that we are going to do this practice for the benefit of all beings. And let's each call on all of our sources of inspiration and refuge, whatever that means to us individually, our teachers and guides, ancestors, including I want to name the ancestors of this land where we are here in San Jose. The Muwekma Ohlone tribe are the first peoples of this land. So let's include them and honor them and give them our respect as we enter into this practice together, honoring them for their long relationship with this land here. And all of our lineage masters that we're connected to, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and all of the wisdom beings that inspire us. So invite them, just take a moment now to maybe close your eyes and invite them in to receive the blessing that is available if we invite it. Maybe take another breath and to receive that blessing of love and support and guidance, healing and clarity. And then feel this love and caring coming all the way into your deepest heart of hearts. And breathe it in. And then breathing out, send this love to everyone around you. And breathing in, receive the love that is being sent. And breathing in and breathing out, sending and receiving this love and this caring. Expanding gradually to include in your awareness not only those around you, but everyone in this room, all of your friends and family, extended community, and all of those who this practice might serve. And imagine this gathering, growing from this place, this bioregion, this country and continent, to include all beings in all places everywhere, embracing the whole planet with our love. Now, with this feeling of love strongly awakened, let's turn our awareness to those who are suffering, to the places where there is war, where there's poverty, disease, pollution, droughts or floods, fires. Anywhere the need for healing is very great. And breathe in this suffering. And breathing out, send your love and your caring to relieve the suffering of the earth, of her people, and of all life all around the whole planet. Imagine that where there is hunger, we send food. Where there is thirst, water. Where there is homelessness, shelter. Where there is war, peace. Where there is sickness, well-being. And imagine that there's enough for everyone, everywhere, no matter what. And aware of where the earth is unstable, in danger, or out of balance in any way, that area is brought great protection and healing, and that balance and harmony is restored. Recall the beauty and the goodness of life, the riches to be found everywhere in nature, and the precious gifts of the earth that sustain life, and the very essence of the elemental energies of nature being strengthened and revitalized all around this beautiful blue-green planet that we call home. And as we now invoke the places where all of the Earth Treasure Vases have been planted around the whole planet, filled with our deepest prayers and intentions, you can imagine sending your love to each of these little holy vessels, and imagine they are receiving the light of your love and caring, and radiating this light in every direction, sending healing and protective energies wherever it is needed, in whatever form it's needed. You can imagine rainbow light streaming forth in white, yellow, red, blue, green, and all the colors in between, and breathing in and breathing out. Allow that feeling of caring and compassion in your heart of hearts to grow. And send that feeling out in the form of light to all of the people, animals, plants, and places that are connected to each of these Earth Treasure Vases that need healing and protection in the past, in the present, and in the future. Beginning at the center of the Earth Treasure Vase Global Healing Mandala, in a cave above the Los Alamos National Laboratory in New Mexico, the birthplace of the atomic bomb. And then to the north, in the Rio Grande bioregion, to the source of the Rio Grande River in Creede, Colorado. And to the south, at the mouth of the Rio Grande, where it empties into the Gulf of Mexico. To the east, on top of Mount Baldy, above Santa Fe. And to the west, on top of Mount Chicoma, which is known as Tsikamu to the Tewa people, who are the custodians of those sacred lands where this mandala began. And having now established the four directions and the center, see the mandala growing in every direction to the Indian Point Nuclear Reservation on the Hudson River in New York, the Headwaters old-growth redwood forest in Northern California, the Punta Cometa on the coast of Oaxaca in Mexico, Vilcabamba, Ecuador, Jakova, Kosovo, the Lawrence Laboratory at the University of California in Berkeley, the Taodum Forest on the border of Thailand and Burma, the village of Ein Karam in Israel, Palestine, Hiroshima, Japan, the cloisters in New York City after 9/11, the Biosphere 2 in Oracle, Arizona, the Martin Luther King Freedom Center in Oakland, California, the source of the Ganges in India, the source of the Amazon in Peru, the Southern Pacific Ocean, 93 feet down in Agum Atoll, the Trobriand Islands, Papua New Guinea, the lands of the Gwich'in in Arctic Alaska, the Kogi Territory in Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta, Colombia, Telewayan Village, Lofa County, Voinjima District, Liberia, West Africa, the Blyder River Canyon, Limpopo Province, South Africa, the Giza Plateau in Egypt, Haleakala, Maui, Hawaii, the Itombwe Forest, South Kivu Province, Democratic Republic of Congo, Avebury, England, Bindaluk, Jawang Country, Catherine, Northern Territory, Australia. And the second generation of treasure vases going to, having been taken to Gabernmong, Arnhem Land, Australia, the Mackenzie King Park, Ottawa River Valley, Ottawa, Gatineau, Canada, the original garden of Findhorn in Scotland, the great stupa of Bodhanath in Kathmandu, Nepal, the Flint Hills of Kansas in the heartland of America, the Santa Cruz Mountains near Silicon Valley, here in California, the Valles Caldera, northern New Mexico, Purnalulu, Bungabungals, the Kimberleys, Australia, the village of Utqiagvik at the edge of the sea in northernmost Arctic Alaska, the Hanford Nuclear Reservation on the shores of the Columbia River in the state of Washington, Mount Ryozen above Fukushima, Japan, back to where it all began at the cave hermitage of Charak in Nepal, to Margaby County, Liberia, and in the base of an old ironbark tree on Dityul Mountain in the Budawang wilderness of Walbunja country, Yuin Nation, southeastern Australia. And the Earth Treasure Vases being distributed now to New Zealand, Colombia, again to Australia, Korea, Turkey, Serpent Mound in Ohio, the Bering Strait in Russia, Antarctica, Greece, and more, including Brazil and Greenland. So now, once again in our last remaining moments here, Please take another deep, slow in-breath, taking all that in, and a deep, slow out-breath. And imagine that all that is needed to relieve the suffering of the earth can be seen as light, radiating out from each of these earth treasure vases, all around the whole planet in every direction. Feel the light flowing back and forth like waves from your heart to the earth treasure vases, energizing them and adding vitality and brilliance to the light that is then flowing out to the whole area within the sphere of influence of each of these earth treasure vases. Imagine this healing light flowing into and around each location, connecting the vases to each other through the meridians and song lines of the earth. And imagine this is energizing the entire global Earth Treasure Vase mandala. And see a web of light embracing the whole planet with our love. And feel this global healing mandala coming to life as a whole, sensing and opening into the wisdom of Gaia that we are each a part of and here in service to. And receive now the collective spiritual intelligence of the entire global mandala entering you as a holy vessel. And see the healing and protection radiating out from your heart around the whole earth like waves of light flowing back and forth endlessly. And focus your concentration on bringing healing and protection to the whole earth for all time. And imagine that the healing is accomplished and the vitality of the earth is completely restored. Now recognizing the great interconnected web that is life on earth. Take another deep breath in and out. Just resting in the awareness and giving thanks for this precious, sacred time that we have shared with each other and with the web of life. And let's just together form the prayer that the compassion and the peace that is our true condition may bring supreme happiness and benefit to the earth and to all beings. And wiggle your toes. Come back into your body, into the room. And just do this to close. So if we had a little more time, I would open this up and send it around for all of you to put a prayer inside of, to hold to your heart, to feel this invitation to contribute whatever is there to this global mandala. And it's time to close. So I invite you to join me if you're interested tomorrow, where we will pass these around the circle and invite each of you to make your own prayer or offering into the vase and share a few more stories. So maybe as we're just ending, if you want to take just a moment to send this out right here. This is what we work with. Every month, every full moon, we do this practice and pilgrimage around the world until the work is done, and then we keep it alive until there's nothing else to do. This is it. So this is the opportunity, the awakening opportunity of my life. And I hope that you have tasted something of that love that Gaia, when we touch the earth and we invite that relationship, something happens. So let's, when we go outside, maybe do that and take it home. Take it into our homes and families and wherever we're called. Listen to that call and then act on that. When we do that, we are not reproducing the same old story.